inherently inferior. That's their problem. And that's what the media constantly sees when it says, and when you look at the newspaper, you know, the achievement gap. Think about all the words you hear over and over and over again. It's almost to such a degree that you and I don't exist. We can't have an intelligent conversation because we aren't intelligent enough to have one. It's not based on what you see in the media.
Exactly.
Do you see what I'm saying? And who runs the media? Who determines what the subtext is going to be? And so, so the answer to that is, one, we must do it. When I had graduate students, I'll tell you the truth. I probably shouldn't say this on the air, but when I had students coming in to my classes, I don't care what level they were in, whether they were graduate students, and many graduate students from the university that I was teaching would come to me because I was one of the few black professors. And so they would come to me, and they would just talk to me about surviving, you know, in the university where they feel invisible and they feel, racist professors and teachers. And I would help them navigate it because I said, look, we need you. But let me tell you something. And if you tell anybody I said it, I'm going to tell you a lie. I said, but here's the bottom line. You had better not produce a single paper that's not about us. Are you following me? Don't you come back with anything about the mating habits of gerbils or anything else that's insignificant, because I expect to look at us. And any paper you write, any research you do, any service you provide, any practicum that you do, it better be about us. Are we clear?
So you're basically putting on their shoulders, look, you are at this level that many of us are, that a lot of us are not, and you're going to take some responsibility and show in that responsibility to others that our voices are indeed important.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can definitely.
And don't forget the shoulders you're standing on. You understand me? Don't forget the shoulders you're standing on that allowed you to be here in the first place.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't get to get here and forget that. And so from my vantage point, the answer is no, you can't hear what you don't know. So first, don't believe that systems go educate your children. But there are plenty of us all around this world that are educated, that can provide. The books, the information is there. Just don't think they're going to have them. So, like in my family, I grew up. You can tell I grew up because my brother was affiliated with the Black Panthers. My sister was an activist. Do you think I got little books when I was 9 and 10 years old? Hello, God, this is Margaret. No, I got The Fire Next Time by by Baldwin. I was getting the automatic. That's what I was getting. I didn't get the option, right?
Oh, yes.
So guess what I hand my children? Guess what I handed them? And guess what I'm going to hand my grandchildren who are reading now? You know what I mean? Now, in the middle of all the little nice things about animals or whatever else they learn, I'm saying, let me give you a little bit of your history here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying? I'm going to do that because I know the systems they're in are not going to. They're not going to educate our children. So it's first is to know, then is to do. And once we know and understand, we can stop doing the stupid stuff. We can stop doing the things that are hurting our own children. One of the examples I give in the book, and I'll give it to your listeners because it's something that resonates with parents in particular. Because you see, I think the children, that's our legacy. We got to pass the baton in such a way that don't nobody drop it. You keep it moving. So if you consider a simple behavior, and this is a very simple behavior that has become, quote, cultural, that I call the poison in the cookies. It's the poison in the cookies. It's like, you got some cultural stuff, but you got some crazy stuff in there. You're like eating chitlins. That's some crazy stuff, okay?
Exactly.
And you can call it cultural if you want. You can call it soul food if you want. It's pig entrails, and it's not good to eat, okay? I don't care who cooked it when. But you see what I'm saying? Survival food suddenly becomes soul food. So now let's look at something that we do with our children. And I give this example so people will know. So you have a black mother, you have a white mother, or a black father, white father. It doesn't matter. Black mother, white mother both have children. Let's say they both have sons. The two sons go to school together.
Yes.
The two sons, they play together. They're good friends. They just spend the night over each other's house. All good. One day, the black mother and the white mother find themselves at a school meeting, and they're seated next to each other with their sons on either side of them. The black mother leans over to the white mother and says, oh, by the way, I just wanted to tell you, I noticed that your son is really doing well. And the white mother perks up. She's so excited. She goes, oh, well, thank you so much for mentioning that and noticing it, because he really has been working hard. And, you know, he's quite the man. You know, he's in a science program, and he won the science fair, you know, and he's in a talented and gifted, and his uncle's an astronaut. She just goes on and on. Because she's just, you know, happy as pie. I know. There's nothing wrong with that. Then the white mother realizes at the moment she's speaking that the black mother's son is actually excelling her son. Right now, at that moment, he's excelling. So the white mother says, you know, is sitting there. The black mother is looking at her, and she says, well, wait a minute. She says, well, your son is the one that's really coming along, is what the white mother says to the black mother. Black mother's response, typical 2012 response. Oh, yeah, but, ooh, that boy's something else. Woo! Lord, you see him yesterday. He works my nerves. Lord. Yeah, but, girl, please. Right? So you look at that behavior, which is very typical, and the average black person that hears that, when you hear that, what we all know is kind of like the little secret, is she's really proud.
Yes. Yeah.
Even though she just said, oh, that boy, I want to strangle him yesterday, she's really proud. So when you look at the behavior, you have a white response to that, you have a black response. White response is, well, no wonder, they're just so negative. Right? They're just always so negative.
Yeah.
Now black people look at that as code, and they begin to rationalize it by, well, you don't want to pump his head up, and, well, you know, it's not good to be bragging. Oh, we just make up stuff. Now let's put it in context. Because, you know, the literature's there. When I wrote my book, I had read over, you know, hundreds of narratives, slave narratives. Maybe thousands of slave narratives, actually. And so if you go back to the time of slavery and you begin to look at a typical behavior, one was they beat black boys really badly, deliberately, because they didn't want them to try to stand their ground with someone white who would kill them. So they figured, I'm going to beat the bad out of you so you don't puff up on Miss Ann or Mr. Jimmy. So what happens then is you look at that particular behavior. So that you have a black mother, let's say she's in the fields. And she's in the fields working, or she's in the kitchen, the big house, and she has her children, her young children among her, just kind of standing around there with her for a minute. And a white slave master comes through and says, my, now that boy of yours, that boy there, he's sure coming along. What is that black mother going to do during slavery? What's she going to say to the master who just said that about her son? Oh, no, he's not. He's stupid. He's shiftless. He's lazy because I don't want you to sell my boy.
Wow, yes.
If it's my daughter, I don't want you to breed her. I'm going to tell you every denigrating thing I can. That is called appropriate adaptation when living in a hostile environment. Guess what? We didn't have that meeting, so we never unlearned it.
We still do.
We never unlearned the behavior.
Yes, ma'am.
And now it's called cultural. You follow me?
Wow, yes. Yes, everything negative is cultural, I guess, now.
You know?
What do you say to people? I get this a lot, and I'm pretty sure that you do as well. What do you say to people that, you know, say that's the past? And
I love that. Actually, please say that to me. Here's what I know, and you know, and I try to help people know, because see, black people have been taught that it's absolutely okay for you to discount your. In other words, black people will jump away from slavery faster than white people will.
Yeah.
Who you trying to blame? What excuses are you trying to find? You know, that's all over now. I dare you to tell Jewish people that. I dare you to tell Jewish people, forget about that Holocaust, and Spielberg, please don't make 2 more movies next year on it. Right?
Exactly.
Every single year, there's a movie about the Holocaust, some kind of way. Now, whoever tells Jewish people, oh, no, forget about that, that's the past, that's over, I dare you to try to tell Jewish people that. But you see, what we have been taught, which is part of post-traumatic slave syndrome, part of our injury, is our visceral response to anything that has to do with slavery. So now let me pop it over into another category, healing. I am a clinician. I work with people, you know, that are coming in trying to heal from various traumas, people with, you know, problems in their relation, all that stuff. But now let's take a look at what happens when you walk into a doctor's office. Any doctor, medical doctor, mental health doctor, I don't care what you're going in there for. You walk in there, and the first thing they hand you is a little clipboard. And with the little clipboard, First thing they give you is insurance. Let's be clear about that. We'll get that out of the way. You don't get your money. That's first. Yeah. The second thing they give you is a sheet of paper so they can get as complete a history as they can possibly get. They don't want to just know about whether you got emphysema or smoke. They want to know what you know about your mama, what you know about your daddy,
exactly.
As much as you can know. So history and understanding history has been a very important, valued component to affecting cures. Whether those are mental health, same thing happens. You go to mental health, let's hear your history. Then they do a genogram. Wait. You do mental health, they're going to get a genogram. They want to know how far back can we go to find out what's been going on that produced the person now standing in front of me. So that is a ridiculous statement that people make. But all of that is pushed back because of fear of being accused of whining. Or people who are saying, well, you're being a victim. I mean, all of that, and again, you don't do it with anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, it gets done with us because, like I said, when I pull the covers up, please, go come to one of my workshops. When I pull the covers back, I pull it back in living color so everybody gets to see. And then they go, wow.
Doctor,
I have seen, absolutely.
You just mentioned the word. You just mentioned the word. Oh, I know you're not, ma'am.
I'm not
You just mentioned the word. And I find it very interesting in everything you've just spoken to. In every single component on every single level, however we try to slice this up, to my mind, based on my own research, it always comes down to that one word: fear.
Oh yeah.
Fear. I mean, even in your examples of the slave narratives, Big Mama in the big house in the kitchen, or in the way that we still exhibit that same behavior today. It all comes down to that type of fear.
Fear.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
And let me tell you what else we do. We then instill it in our children. And when I talk about, and those of you those that have seen or heard of this, I've written so much I can't remember if I put it in the book. I don't know if I put the bank story in the book, but I talk about the bank story. I think I did put it in the book. So in the bank story, I talk about, going into a bank. And by the way, I recently went into a bank in Ghana in 2008. I don't have time to talk about that, but it was really, it really cemented what I already knew and the research I'd done earlier. But one of the things is, I ask black people now, you go in a bank, and there's a black person, an adult, maybe in their 30s, or 40s, they have children. Children are in the bank with the black parent. Where are the black children in proximity to that black parent? The answer is they right there, holding on to them sometimes. And if they don't, you know how you get the snap, you get a snap the finger, get over here. Get but I don't know what the snapping and the finger got to do with it, but they got to snap the finger and tell you to get back over there, right? So now you have these children. Now, here's the other thing I teach. I teach human development, birth to death. In other words, all of us are in a developmental stage somewhere at any given moment in our lives. We are in a phase of development. Whether we are early or late, we are in development. So during the early stages of development, say, from, say, 3 to, 8, this becomes a critical stage for children in terms of really feeling secure attachment, autonomy, efficacy, the ability to interact and to explore in their environment safely and comfortably because they're learning. These developmental phases are crucial to any child, regardless of race, because it's how you develop. You roll over, you crawl, you jump, you do all the stuff you do. You're supposed to do that. And there's something within us that compels us to do so. So what happens in a bank when you tell that child, don't move, you're asking them to actually go against what is a natural inclination of development. Now, that doesn't mean, here's what black folks say, child don't need to be running all over the place. Well, guess what's happening in the bank with the white child?
Yeah.
Honey, Johnny, come back. No. Put that down. Johnny's floating all around asking you what your name is and how pretty your sweater is. And what is being taught. Now I'll put it in perspective because black people get very defensive about this because we lived in a time of Emmett Till. Which means that you want to know your place and know it well because it could cost you your life. Well, you see, that because you talked about fear. Our parents grew up with great fear for our safety because you could just eyeball somebody white and get shot or lynched.
Yes, ma'am.
So we were very hypersensitive about the whereabouts of our children in proximity to us. So what happens in the bank, though, in 2011 is you have these little black children that are frozen still, holding on to their parents and threatening